Question 6. A parabola with equation y squared is equal to 4ax, where a is a constant, is translated by this vector 2, 3 to give the curve C. The curve C, we're told, passes through the point 4, 7. We need to first of all show that a from here is equal to 2. So for part A, because I know once it's been translated, I know a point that it passes through, I can first of all carry out this translation. So the translated curve, so the curve C, is going to have an equation of, I'm going to replace the y with y subtract 3 and replace the x with x subtract 2. So we're going to have y take away 3 squared is equal to 4a times x subtract 2. Okay, and that's going to be the equation of the curve C. Now, because we know that it passes through the point 4, 7, so when x is equal to 4, y is equal to 7, I can substitute those values in to work out what a is. So 7 take away 3 is going to be, and in fact we'll write it out, so we've got 7 take away 3 squared is equal to 4 times a times 4 take away 2. Okay, so 7 take away 3 squared is going to be 4 squared, which is 16, is equal to 4 times 2, which is 8. So 16 is equal to 8a, and therefore a is equal to 2. Okay, so we've shown that a is equal to 2. Part B says find the values of k for which the line ky equals x does not meet the curve C. So our first job here is to replace our x in this equation here with ky. So and while I'm doing this, I'm also going to expand the brackets. Remember, this is the equation of the curve C, but a we now know has a value of 2. So let's start by writing down the equation in expanded form. So we've got y squared take away 6y plus 9 is equal to, and a is 2, so that's going to be 8. So we've got 8x take away 16. Okay, so we're now going to replace the x with ky. So I've got y squared take away 6y plus, and I'm going to add the 16 to both sides while I'm doing this, so plus 25 is equal to 8x or 8ky. Okay, and writing this as a quadratic, I've got y squared take away 6y take away 8ky plus 25 is equal to 0. Now I can write this as y squared subtract, and that's going to be 6 plus 8ky, so that gives me that part there, plus 25 is equal to 0. So let's just draw a line down here. Okay, so now in order for this to not meet the curve C, then I don't want there to be any real solution to this equation here. So I'm looking for my discriminant for this, b squared take away 4ac, to be less than 0. That's what I want to happen. Right, so my values of a, b and c, I'm just going to write these down here. So a is going to be equal to the coefficient of y squared, which is 1. B is going to be equal to the coefficient of y, which is negative 6 plus 8k. And c is going to be equal to 25. So therefore, b squared take away 4ac is going to be negative of 6 plus 8k squared, which is just going to be negative times negative, which is positive, so it's going to be 6 plus 8k squared, subtract 4 times a times c, so 4 times 1 times 25, which is 100, and we want that to be less than 0. So if I expand this part here out now, I get 8k squared, so that's going to be 64k squared plus 48k plus 48k plus 96k plus 36, subtract 100 is less than 0, or 64k squared plus 96k subtract 64 is less than 0. Now 32 is a common factor of each of these terms, so I'm going to divide 3 by 32, which tells me that 2k squared plus 3k subtract 2 is less than 0. Okay, next thing I need to do now is I want to factorize this. So I factorize this, I've got 2k, that's going to be k there, is less than 0, and that's going to be a negative 1 there and a plus 2 there. Let's just check to see if that works. 2k squared plus 4k, take away k gives us plus 3k, subtract negative 1 and positive 2 gives me the subtract 2 part. Okay, so that tells me now that if I just sketch a quick curve over here, I know it's going to be a parabola. It's going to look something like that there. Not very good sketch, we'll do it that way. Something like that there. And we're looking for the values where we're less than 0, so we're looking for this region of values here. Okay, these x values give us something that are going to be below the curve, less than 0, and that's going to help me then to write down my solutions. That would be negative 2 there, and that would be a half there. So therefore I'm saying that k is going to be greater than negative 2, but less than a half. Okay, so that there is going to be the values of k for which the line ky equals x does not meet the curve C. Okay, I hope that made sense. Thanks very much for joining me. I'll see you next time.